All right, I see the time is 9:30, and we can convene this meeting. Can you please call roll?
Lena Lane,
Here.
Bob Russ,
Here.
and Cheryl Atkins,
Here.
and Mark Dolson is absent.
Oh, we got a quorum though.
Sure.
Okay. And Shelley was supposed to be joining us remotely, but has not logged in yet.
That's correct. Oh, she just logged in just now. 9:30 on the dot.
Okay.
And I think Mark's coming in right. There's Mark.
Yeah, everybody's here.
He went.
Stay here, Mark. All right. I'll let you get seated real fast. All right, so it looks like we have one item on our agenda, which is going to be district project updates and
Oral communication.
oh, sorry. Yes, oral communications from the public. We have no one in the room and no one online. So we will move to new business. We have the district project updates, and are you taking that, Garrett?
Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you, Vice President Lang and the administration committee for allowing me to present an update to our district projects. So at the June 5th, 2025 Board of Directors meeting, the 5-year capital improvement program was adopted. And the
Can you start the slideshow so it zooms out?
yeah, let's see. Okay. So at the June 5th, 2025 meeting, the board adopted the 5-year capital improvement program. This included a total of 47 items in our list. 25 of those items are in the budget for fiscal year 25-26. There's an additional 6 projects in the budget for fiscal year 26-27. On this slide, staff has prepared little notes that indicate where each project currently is in the either design or construction or bidding. So starting at the top, the Redwood Park swim tank is out to bid, and that is bundled with Echo Tank, and it's also bundled with the spring booster pump station, which is number 21, Redwood Park number 1, Echo's number 3. So those are all currently on our website. The bids are due February 12th. It was advertised on December 12th. That gives 2 months for bidders to get a price together for the district. We have 2.7 budgeted for Redwood Park, and we have 1.9 budgeted for Echo Tank. That's a total of 4.6 million. So we'll see where the bids come in. Hopefully we can go to construction on that this summer. CZ P-Vine Supply, we're doing the design in-house. We've completed the hazardous tree removal with the California Conservation Corps. We've completed the survey and topographic mapping with TUIL surveyors. We have an environmental consultant helping us with the environmental permitting. 60% plans were sent to the environmental consultant on Friday, December 12th. Staff is working to get 100% plans together so that we can do material procurement in the spring of 2026. And then we can start construction as soon as the rainy season ends, probably around June, maybe late May. And then we also have Brackenbury Forest Springs Consolidation Phase 1, we're in construction right now. Caltrans has issued the bridge encroachment permit. We are scheduled to install the pipe on the bridges starting January 5th, starting at bridge 3610, which is very close to Boulder Brook. It's between Boulder Brook and Park Street. And that will make the connection from the pipe we installed in West Park to our existing 12-inch line at Boulder Brook. So construction for that project has to be completed by February 2026. DWR gave us a time extension on the grant. Originally, we were supposed to be done by December of 2024. We got a 1-year extension to December 2025. And now we've gotten a 2-month extension till February 2026. We've already submitted bills in excess of the grant amount. So we pretty much spent all the grant money, and the district has agreed to provide up to 1.4 million of district funds to make up the difference between the remaining grant funds and the actual cost of the construction. So at the time that the board awarded the construction contract, we had approximately 2.5 million remaining in the grant. The low bid was 3.2 million. And considering there could be change orders, there is staff time, there are special consultants that we need for labor compliance, for compaction testing, a backfill, other miscellaneous experts that we might need. We have to come in at under 3.9 million. And so far we're looking good on that number. And we should be done with that construction hopefully by the middle of February.
Garrett,
Yeah.
Is there any opportunity, given the shortfall, that possibly being another FEMA attempt, or is it too late for that?
I'm not aware that we're gonna get any FEMA money from the Brackenbury Forest Springs consolidation. Now, Brackenbury did secure a FEMA award, I guess you could call it, and to the tune of $1.2 million. We were trying to get the main line built through the Brackenbury community, but the bids came in at over $2 million. And so we were not able to award the contract for the 10-inch main line or 8-inch main line going through Brackenbury. So we worked with the contractor to get a change order pricing down to the available funds of $1 million. And unfortunately, Brackenbury did not engage with the district in order to award that change order. And so at this point, we're so far into the project, we're just going to complete the base bid work. And that's going to be pretty much it for Anderson Pacific on this job. We do have a congressional earmark from the Environmental Protection Agency of $950,000 approximately. There is a $200,000 match required to get those EPA funds. This is for the tank site exclusively. So the engineer's estimate right now is 2.5 million for the tank site. We have to build a series of 3 retaining walls in order to level the site for 2 new tanks. They're nominal 87,700 gallon tanks. And so that'll give us a usable 120,000 gallons, which will allow a 1,000 gallon per minute hydrant to operate for 2 hours. Again, we only have, with our match and with the EPA money, it's only 1.2 million. We had a meeting with the EPA representative and we said, hey, can we prepare the site, build the retaining walls, get ready for the tanks with the $1 million we got? And she said, yeah, that'd be fine. We can go ahead and do that. Another aspect to think about for the consolidation, in order to fill the tanks, you have to have a pump station. In order for the pump station to fill the tank, you have to have a distribution line from the pump station to the tank site. So it doesn't, in my mind, make a lot of sense to build a tank that will sit empty. What makes more sense to me is to build a pump station, the main line between the pump station and the tank site, and at least 1 tank all in one project. Then you would have, that would create a new pressure zone for the district called the Upper Big Basin Zone, and will allow us to eliminate the Eckley zone.
Before you said you would hope that it would help with the Eckley zone pressure issues. Are you still feeling like that? Now you're saying it's gonna remove the Eckley zone now, and that's a little different.
So the phase one construction that we're currently in is going to provide a 12-inch main to feed the 6-inch lateral that is feeding Big Basin, Forest Springs, and Brackenbray. So that will improve the flow to the 6-inch by having this new 12-inch main. When we build the tank site and we build the pump station, that will create a brand new zone, and that will eliminate the Eckley zone.
Okay, that's my zone.
So currently there's only, I think was it 9 homes on the Eckley zone?
Oh,
So there's only 9 homes that are fed off of the Eckley zone tank, which is, I think it's 5,000 gallon,
10,000.
10,000 gallon tank. So we have one 10,000 gallon poly tank. And basically the pump station is located right at the hairpin turn before you go up there. So everybody who's below the pump station is actually in the Lion zone.
oh,
Everybody above the pump station would be in the Eckley zone.
oh,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'm lying then.
In
I'm lying.
You're lying.
To add on to your question, district staff did reach out to FEMA to see if there's something the district could do. I don't want to say bypass, but to work directly with them on that $1.2 million grant.
Right,
And we were told no, that's through Brackenbray. So
I see. So they had to be involved.
yeah, it's their grant.
I guess since we're on this topic before you move on, I did have a question. Do we have any environmental restrictions with those stream crossings, or since they're attached to the bridges, are we okay as far as anything going on there? Is there any timing of being in and out of the streams because we have native salmonids?
Right. So all the construction work is going to be performed out of the riparian corridor from the top. So we're not going to be entering the riparian corridor per se. We're just going to be working on the bridge itself.
Okay.
We do have permitting with our environmental team. Now, this was in contemplation of the tank site, the bridge crossings, pump station, the main starting at Boulder Brook, going all the way to the pump station, the main going from the pump station to the top of Brackenbray and to the top of Forest Springs. So all that was environmentally permitted. And we did have to provide that permitting to Caltrans to get the Caltrans bridge encroachment permit.
Okay. And you said you were talking about, you did mention like backfill. Are we backfilling with slurry or native soil?
We are backfilling with processed native soil, which can also be called engineered fill.
Okay.
You have to meet certain gradation requirements of the Caltrans standard specification in order to use that material as backfill. So no organics, no rocks bigger than 2 inches in diameter, no deleterious or bad material. They can bring in like class 2 base rock from a quarry. But if they can process the native material and blend it, that's the cheapest way to go.
I just didn't want us to get in the situation again, like by the Masouds area, where we have to go back in and do it again.
Right. Yeah, that was unfortunate.
All right, sorry.
That's okay. San Lorenzo Way Bridge pipeline replacement. This is a county project. We've been informed by the county that we have to have a temporary pipeline up and running by March. They are looking to have a contractor start work this winter, and their schedule shows completion of the new bridge by December 2026. The district will have a brand new 8-inch potable water line located inside the box girder of the bridge. We're also going to have a location for a raw water line where we can connect to the city's Loch Lomond pipeline. However, at this time, we're only going to install the supports and the casing for the abutment penetration. We will not be installing the ductile iron line because we cannot treat the water from Loch Lomond, and there's no reason to make that connection at this time. Line slide repair. We have entered into a contract with the surveyor. The surveyor has been to the site for an updated survey. The field work's been completed. So they are to deliver a topographic map that we can use to the district staff to make engineering plans. We have $500,000 in the budget for this fiscal year. The geotechnical engineer We've sent them the contract for updated design values for Soldier Pile retaining wall with tiebacks. Hopefully there's no issues with the terms of our standard professional services agreement, as we've done many projects with Park Pacinich in the past, and they will sign the contract, send it back to us. If we're looking to get the design completed so that when we get the next tranche of money, July 1st, 2026, we can go into construction this summer. The board approved 5-year capital improvement program had 5 million in fiscal year 26-27 and 5 million in 27-28. This was in contemplation of a new access road built at a different location than the existing access road. The board has directed staff to stop work on the new access road and instead develop repair plans for the existing access road. Staff feels that this project may cost around $2 million. We budgeted 3 million so that we have a little bit extra. We'll see what the real costs come in this summer.
Garrett,
yeah.
do you have a swag as to how many linear feet of soldier pile wall retaining walls is it likely to use?
So that's something that we'll develop when we get the updated plan.
Okay.
And I'm expecting there to be 2 walls on the outboard side of the road. So the road actually has a hairpin. So we need an upper wall and a lower wall. And the design is not going to be to restrain the unstable soil mass. The design is going to be to reestablish the road grades to a pre-disaster condition. So there is some risk associated with that. In order to stabilize the soil mass, it would cost around $15 million. And it just doesn't make sense to have a $15 million driveway up to our Lion treatment plant. What does make sense, though, is to get the road in a safe enough condition that we can have Verizon put a cell phone tower up at Lion Complex if we so decide, and that we can award a contract for an inline filter behind the Lion treatment plant to replace the Foreman pressure brake. So we need to have access not only for our staff, but for some of the improvements that we have going on up there. The Triple Cs are coming into town this spring to remove hazardous trees on 5 Mile. They're going to need a place to camp, and we have water and we have power at Lion. It's in close proximity to both the Peavine Trail and the 5 Mile Trail. So it makes sense to have the Triple Cs stay there.
How does that affect our liability with the houses down below, since we're not, protecting the actual slide itself?
I would defer any questions about liability to legal or insurance professionals.
Okay.
It'd be my pleasure to design a $15 million slope stabilization for the district.
I just know that was the big, back and forth as far as why we flipped projects, was because of the houses.
Well,
down.
if you build a new road in a different location, that doesn't do anything about the unstable soil mass. You're still in the same amount of risk you were in before.
It's true.
Now, by building a retaining wall that stabilizes a portion of the unstable soil mass, the worst case effect is somewhat mitigated.
Okay.
Is there still with current measurements, is there still some slippage, or is the slide basically sort of staying in the same place?
So the original damage happened in 2017. The slide reactivated in 2023. Between 2017 and now, staff has repaired the access road annually. This comprises of regrading the slopes, putting rock, paving. Those improvements over a year's time become damaged, and then we have to go back out and redo it. It's kind of like if you have a bad sub base and you just keep repaving the road, and then it just keeps deflecting and you keep getting problems. So really, if you want to fix the problem, you have to start at the bottom and work your way back up. So that way you have good bearing.
Thank you.
Let's see here. So Blair tank recoding, that is to be decided. We are going to do Brookdale tank recoding improvements first. We currently have a RFQ on the website for a coding consultant expert to represent the district during construction. We plan to take Brookdale tank offline in the rainy season, March, April or February, March, somewhere in that time span, and have it recoded. It's critical to the district operations that the Brookdale tank be out of service for a small amount of time as possible. So we're hoping that we can get all the repairs and recoding done between 30 and 60 days. So if we can start in March, we'll be done by beginning of May, hopefully. And then we'll see what the true cost is for the Brookdale tank recoding. And we might need to reallocate money from Blair tank to cover the actual cost of Brookdale tank recoding. After we're completed the Brookdale tank recoding, we can look at lessons learned and decide on the next tank we want to recoat, if that is Blair tank or Bear Creek tank or Spring tank or one of our other tanks that is on our list currently. Fire hardening pump stations, we are taking award of the contract to the board on Thursday night. This is for roof replacements on 5 pump stations. We got 3 bids for the project. The low bid was $224,250. We got another bid around $255,000, and we got a third bid at $495,000. Staff is asking the board to approve the apparent low bidder at $224,250. This is kind of a simple project where we are putting a metal roof on an existing CMU building. We have to remove the wooden roof, and we have $300,000 budgeted in this fiscal year. We have $310,000 budgeted in fiscal year 26-27. So now that we have the costs to replace 5 roofs for just over $200,000, we are going to prepare the design in-house for a full pump station replacement. That includes a foundation, CMU walls, and a metal roof. We will start at the big steel pump station, as this is the most critical pump station identified by operations. We have a total of $610,000 in the budget. So after we have awarded the $224,000 and we get the price for the full pump station, it's possible we might have enough money to do another full replacement. And we will work with operations to identify the appropriate pump station for another full replacement based on the prices and how much money we have left. Caltrans Highway 9 house abandonments and Felton Empire Trench repair is complete. We filed the notice of completion at the county recorder. The retention will be released to Lewis and Tibbetts on December 30th. Bear Creek meter shop generator and power drop operations is spearheading this project. We had a load test done on our generator usage so that we can get the appropriate size generator. We already have 2 bids to replace in kind, and we're going to have a 3rd bid after the study's done, and then we can take it to the board to award.
One note on that, that is going to be brought up to the wastewater workshop in January 12th. That'll be brought up as well.
Okay.
The generator also powers the wastewater pumps as well as the Bear Creek potable water tank pump.
Yeah, some of the costs will be put on the wastewater budget, so I want to make sure we discuss that with the customers.
Bennett Spring fire hardening, we've completed the survey and we are in the process of doing a grant withdrawal because we got a grant to do engineering plans. We do not have grant money for the construction. Currently, district staff is very busy, especially the engineering department, and we're going to be more busy this summer when we're actually in construction on all 8 projects. My plan is to utilize all staff to assist with the construction, and we might need to go out for construction management firms to assist us with 2 to 3 of the projects, depending on how the schedule actually unfolds and if we can if we can do it in-house, I'd rather do it in-house, but we're just so busy. CZU South Reservoir Distribution System. We are going to put out an RFP for survey. That's the first step in developing engineering plans. We'll probably have the engineering plans, and this could go to construction in this next summer, not the summer of 26, the summer of 27. We would have to fund it though, as far as the construction. The Lompico intertie pipeline burial. This is same as the Bennett Spring. We got the survey completed with Duil, and we are in the process of doing a grant withdrawal. Again, so the Bennett Spring and the Lompico intertie, these are both existing pipes that are in service, providing raw water in the case of Bennett Spring and potable water in the case of the Lompico intertie. The grant contemplated burying these lines. These are portions of these lines are cross country through the forest. So from an engineering standpoint, if you wanted to use equipment to bury these lines, you would have to make a road through the forest in order to get an excavator and a dump truck and be able to dig. Alternatively, you could always do hand digging and just get a lot of laborers and dig a trench, and maybe it meanders around trees and whatever else is out there so that we can get from A to B. But again, we don't have money for construction. This was only for survey, engineering plans, and we just have so much work right now that it doesn't make a lot of sense to make another set of plans for something we don't have money to build, or that is not a high priority because we have so many high priority projects. Heavy duty utility trucks. We've already purchased 2 trucks. Those are coming this month. We'll purchase another 2 trucks in the next fiscal year when we get more money. CZU 5-mile tree removal. The triple C's are coming out in the spring, as I indicated, for the hazardous tree removal. Once the hazardous tree removal is complete, we can send out a surveyor to make a topographic map, and then we can make engineering plans in-house, taking lessons learned from Peavine, which is only approximately 1.5 miles. We'll use that to work on the 5-mile line. So that'll happen after we're done with Peavine. Ben Lomond meter change out, that's for operations. We have over 500 new meters that are going to be replaced existing meters in Ben Lomond as part of a grant. General meter change outs. This is another ops line item for changing meters. Forklift Quail 5. This is for operations. We took some money out of the forklift budget to fund the difference between the bid cost of the heavy duty utility trucks and the amount we budgeted. And I believe we might have taken some money for the environmental SUV. So I don't know how much money's left for the forklift, but we might just get that in a different fiscal year. Spring booster pump station, that is part of the Redwood Park swim tank site, and it is out to bid right now. Bids are due February 12th. 4-wheel drive SUV, that has been procured. We got a Ford Maverick. South tank is being engineering designed by Massey Miller Engineering. They are to provide the district with a feasibility memo. We've already completed the survey. We've already completed the geotechnical investigation. This is part of a grant that the district received, $4.5 million from DWR. The district has a $1.5 million contribution for the grants. We've already completed the construction of Blue Ridge Tank. Highland Tank construction has been awarded to Corcus Construction. Redwood Park, Echo Tank, and Spring Booster Pump Station should spend the remaining amount of the grant money. And then MME, they're going to work on getting into the feasibility memo for South Tank. And they're going to take Felton Heights Tank, which is on Lost Acre Drive, as far into the design as they have budget. They've already indicated that the engineering design was harder than they thought, and they're concerned that they're running out of budget. So at a time when the amount of money that they are not to exceed has been reached, they're going to probably ask us for more money to complete the design. We'll have to make a decision if we want to stop work and finish the design in-house, or if we want to just give them another allocation of money to complete the design. And then we could have them complete the design for South Tank as well. We currently have 4 poly tanks at the top of Western up there for the south zone. And it's not a high priority that not as high as the Felton Heights Lost Acre Drive. Now that we're spending less money on the line slide repair, we can reallocate the $2 million taken out of the budget to another project. It might make sense to, if we have the engineering plans complete for Felton Heights by December 2026, we could go into construction summer of 27. Let's see here.
What are they saying is difficult about the Felton Heights?
So currently they've completed the design on Highland Tank and they've completed the design on Redwood Park and Echo Tank. So Redwood Park and Echo Tank both had retaining walls. You can go on our website under bid opportunities and look at the current plans that bidders have. There's 3 retaining walls at Echo. It's a very steep site. We typically locate our tanks at the top of the ridges, which allows us to get higher pressures. So the roads leading up to the top of the ridge are usually single lane, steep grades. And so it makes it difficult to get concrete trucks, to get material delivered up there, to have enough flat area for these new larger diameter tanks. So we had to level out a spot. And so yeah, there's, if you look at the amount of money allocated, there's 2.7 million for Redwood Park and 1.9 for Echo, but we only had 1.5 for Highland, and the bid came in at $1,033,099. So we'll see what the bids come in at, and hopefully they're low. Let's see here. CZU services and water meter replacement. That's another ops line item. Or when we remove meters from CZU houses and they go to rebuild, we are able to reinstall the meter at no cost to the customer. CZU Harmon Street 2-inch, we've decided to move that into construction this summer. We will be publishing the bid documents on the district website in January 2026. This is in the immediate vicinity of Boulder Creek Elementary, starting at the intersection of Laurel and Loman Street, proceeding south to Harmon, and then proceeding east down Harmon to Pine Street. The engineer's estimate was $1 million. We've budgeted 1.5 million. So as soon as Boulder Creek Elementary gets out on June 4th, I want the contractor out there cutting the pavement and going and getting that work completed before school resumes in August.
Thank you for timing that.
Yeah, it seemed to make sense because I know it turns into a madhouse when people are dropping off and picking up. So we're trying to get that done. And one of the reasons we decided to move it up is because the engineering plans are 100% complete. And it was a project that we had initially considered to put out to bid on this fiscal year. And there was some concern at the board level that we wouldn't be able to get all these projects done and that we should be doing less. So that project was moved to a future budget year. And in the event that we took out a large loan and we were not able to spend the money, we had that in our back pocket that we could just put out to bid immediately and spend $1 million relatively quickly. Now, the other thing to understand about Harmon Street is it is a FEMA project from the CZU fire. And so in order to get the reimbursement from FEMA, we have to get all projects done that are bundled together in one application. So Harmon Street is bundled with some other projects. So we have to make the decision, either we're going to build these projects or we're going to withdraw from these projects. And then we can get paid out on all the other projects we've completed that are part of the bundle. And so for that reason, Harmon Street is going into construction this summer. Huckleberry Island main failure, plans are done. We need an easement. It's not clear to me when we'll have the easement or if we'll need to take another method to be able to install our pipe on their bridge. Granite Rock, Quail Hollow Quarry, Desert Pipeline Removal. This gets into the next fiscal year, 26-27. We've been notified by Granite Rock that they are expanding their quarrying activities into an area where we have installed the desert pipeline back in I believe in the 60s. As part of that agreement in the 60s, we indicated that when notified, we would remove the pipeline from their quarry at our cost. So they notified us. We went out to the site with Jody McGraw and with representatives from Granite Rock. And there are two distinct areas of pipeline. One goes through the actual mine area. Another one goes through the habitat conservation area owned by Granite Rock. So it's possible that it could be in the interest of the habitat conservation plan that that pipeline is plugged and allowed to remain in place. And we only remove the portion that's in the quarrying area. Granite Rock has heavy equipment and machines out there. It's possible maybe they could expose the pipe and then we could just go out to remove it. This is asbestos concrete pipe, so it is a hazmat removal and hazmat disposal. So we have $1 million in fiscal year 26-27 and projected $1 million in fiscal year 27-28 in case we have to go into the habitat conservation area and remove that pipeline as well. California 9 Bridges, we have the temporary pipeline up that was installed by Corcus Construction. Corcus has also been awarded the construction contract for Highland Tank. Caltrans will now be able to replace half the bridge at San Lorenzo River near Monaco Lane and Highway 9 and Kings Creek Bridge just north of Pool Street. Once they've replaced half the bridge, we will go in and install the permanent ductile iron line on that half of the bridge and remove the temporary line, at which point Caltrans will build the other half of the bridge. Upper Pasatiempo pipeline. This was identified by operations staff as a potentially hazardous pipeline. It's above grade, directly adjacent to the Upper Pasatiempo tank site, somewhat precariously installed. And if something were to happen to this line, it would drain the tank. So operations staff has alerted us that we should replace this line. We've also have on our list Charlie Tank recoating. This has been identified in the state sanitary survey with the Department of Water Resources as having an undermined foundation and it needs coating repairs. Now, based on the elevation of Upper Pasatiempo tank, engineering staff is looking at eliminating the Charlie zone, eliminating the pump that we have to take to pump from the blue tank up to Charlie zone, and instead just making it part of the Upper Pasatiempo zone. It's possible that Charlie tank is around 40,000 gallons. We might need to provide some poly tanks at the site so that we don't have a decrease in storage capacity. But it'll eliminate one of the pumps and we won't have to rehab the Charlie tank. So it seems like a good idea. The cloud tank recoating. This was identified in the state sanitary survey as needing recoating. Quail tank recoating is identified by op staff. We need to recoat these tanks. They're past due. Quail tank SCADA upgrade. This was identified by op staff. This will probably be, would that be Emerson?
Most likely.
And then we have projects in future years that are not budgeted. And I could go into those in more detail if the committee's interested. We go all the way out to 2930. That's when we start looking at our 2029, the 5-mile supply line. I've made short descriptions of the current status of the projects and Gantt charts for the projects showing when we expect these projects to be completed. And it kind of just is the information I've already explained to you verbally. So with that, I can take any questions you have.
All right. Looks like we lost Kelly online. Oh, I mean, we don't, oh, she's there. Okay, I see her there. She popped up. Okay. All right. Who wants to start? You have any questions, Mark?
That was great. I have one that's just curiosity because you mentioned it. It's not a project on your list, but I'm interested in the current status of the long-term plan to utilize Loch Lomond water.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so so this is part of our conjunctive use project. So this is really being spearheaded by our environmental staff. And so the district came out with an ISMND indicating that we should be allowed to use any water from Felton or from Boulder Creek in Felton or Boulder Creek or vice versa. Currently, we're permitted as 2 systems, and we're only allowed to use the Felton water in the north system under emergency conditions. Now, those conditions do exist right now because our raw water pipelines were melted in the CZU fire. So we are effectively operating as one system currently. In order for us to do all the paperwork and have everything done as far as permitting with the state, we have to do an environmental impact report. This was started because the city of Santa Cruz had objections to our ISMND. They wrote us a letter identifying multiple issues that they want responses to. So we're getting into it. One of them was the Loch Lomond raw water. So the district hired Carollo to look at what it would take to upgrade the Kirby treatment plant to be able to process Loch Lomond water. And so we have that information. We're currently in discussions with the City of Santa Cruz Water Department to see how we can use those water rights to the benefit of our district and the benefit of the aquifer, and possibly help out Scotts Valley or help out Santa Cruz, because it's kind of a regional benefit to allow us to do conjunctive use.
Fish and Wildlife also took issue, correct?
Correct.
I know, people like to point the finger at Santa Cruz.
Fish and Wildlife wrote a letter. It was not quite as extensive as the letter from the city of Santa Cruz, but there was multiple departments that had issue with it.
So we're looking at ways we can use the Loch Lomond water in order to get approvals to combine the system.
Garrett, just for reference, how much water do we have rights to? How many acre feet?
313 acre.
0.4.
Pardon?
313.4 acre feet
Acre feet.
per year.
I guess one follow-up on that. Do I understand? I mean, in the end, you either have to have the capacity to treat it, or else perhaps just buy treated water from Santa Cruz, or is that the?
Yeah, so one aspect that you could do is you could take the raw water, we could upgrade the Kirby treatment plant, we could treat it and put it in a distribution system. Now, Fish and Wildlife and the city of Santa Cruz are concerned about bypass flows and the fish in the river, the creeks. Maybe we could let that water down the river for the fish at a certain time of year, which would be beneficial for the fish. And we wouldn't need it as something that we filter and put in our distribution system, but instead we use it so we can maximize our draw out of the creeks that we currently have intakes on. Maybe we can work out a deal where Scotts Valley is going to pay the district because we're using our raw water as a benefit to Scotts Valley, who has an intertie with the city of Santa Cruz. And so we're going to get paid a little bit for our raw water, and the city of Santa Cruz is going to get paid because they are delivering potable water to Scotts Valley. And then either way, Scotts Valley is not running their pumps in the aquifer, they're getting river water or Loch Lomond water.
And just briefly, the current state of the environmental impact report and the overall sort of projected timetable for these things to be resolved.
I mean, I would defer that to the environmental programs manager.
The current state is that we are waiting for a final resolution on the Loch Lomond water, what at least the framework of how that's going to be used, so that it can be in part of the report. Once we have that, then we can proceed with the entire EIR.
Is that something that depends on discussion with Santa Cruz and Scotts Valley? Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Well, thanks for the information. It was very enlightening, but I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Right, Director Russ?
Um, in the package that was sent out ahead, you had a small little bullet about, I guess, the Haven housing development.
Yeah, that was on mine.
Yeah.
That was, I was gonna ask.
Comment on where that is and have we been paid for all of our hours to date?
Yeah, so the Haven Housing Development has submitted to the county planning department under a builder's remedy when the county of Santa Cruz did not have a housing plan adopted by the state at that time. Since then, the county has adopted the housing plan, and so there won't be any more submittals like this. Now, my understanding is that they have to keep submitting responses to the county comments in order to keep that application alive. So we've gotten four routings of the plans. The initial routing, we identified a list of required information that the district would need in order to be able to issue a will serve letter, including a hydraulic analysis. And so we're waiting for the developer to provide the required information indicated in our letter to the county planning department. And we've had a meeting with their engineer. They made an initial submittal and we gave them review comments on the initial submittal. And so now they need to update their analysis for our comments. And if everything checks out, then we would bring that to the board for approval. And then we could issue the will serve letter.
Have we actually signed I don't know what it would be called, but a engineering analysis agreement with Haven to, have staff time being spent on all of these analyses?
We did. So we signed a reimbursement agreement with the developer. Now that's for our time. We're not actually doing the analysis. An outside engineering group is doing the analysis for the Haven. We don't really have time, I don't think, to mess around with it. And it's not clear to me if this is a real project. He's still in the planning phase, and there's multiple obstacles for him developing those parcels. So, from a water point of view, it's two of the parcels are in our LAFCO boundary. My understanding is if we have water, we can't just arbitrarily say, oh, we're not going to give you water, but we are going to give somebody else water that's in our boundary. There are two other parcels. He'll have to do a LAFCO boundary adjustment in order to be in our service area. This would push us right up against the city of Santa Cruz Water Department's boundary at Rolling Woods, which could provide us the possibility of a direct intertie with the city of Santa Cruz.
And on your Gantt chart, you show that the construction of this could occur as early as May of next year. Given what you just told me, that seems unlikely.
I don't think I have a Gantt chart for the housing bill.
Oh, that's Harmon Street. Excuse
Yeah.
me. You're right. Huh. Okay. Yeah. So it's just, who knows, right?
Yeah, I mean, first you have to get planning approval. Once they get planning approval, they have to go to the building department. And then once they get building approval, they can start breaking ground.
Yeah, they gotta figure out their septic though.
Yeah, they got septic issues. My understanding is it's like sandhills habitat. There's all kinds of reasons that they're gonna have issues, I believe.
Yeah,
Right.
So-
Okay.
well,
We don't have a main that goes over there. They're gonna have to construct a brand new main and maybe join zones to make it work. So the initial hydraulic analysis I got said it doesn't work. So I went to their engineer and I said, why are you submitting this to me?
And does the city of Santa Cruz main come up Graham Hill then, but stops right there at Rollingwood?
Yeah,
I see.
I'm not sure exactly where their main is, but I know that they serve the homes in Rolling Woods.
There's a tank up there.
Yeah, they got a tank up there. So it's possible. I mean, does it go up Graham Hill? Do you know?
No, I think it comes up from
Them?
further down. Yeah, some back way.
Yeah.
They may have the same pressure issues that we have. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So it would be, we'd be going from the Rolling Woods tank to our probation tank would be the intertime.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, Shelley, do you have any questions?
No, I find it a fascinating project. Can you hear me? I think I unmuted appropriately.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I saw thumbs up. Okay. No, I just was curious at any point in there, where can the administration provide any support or help, education, so forth?
I think basically for the engineering department, I need, more staff equals more work done, and more money means more work done. So
Okay. All right. Thank you for the presentation. Appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, I kind of had all the way back to the very beginning. I had a couple more questions on that. I've been seeing online that Forest Springs has been having a lot of leaks. Are we helping them at all? Or are they kind of just on their own, spending their own money trying to fix this stuff?
Yeah, they haven't requested any help from us. So
Okay, I see they're out of water a lot, so that's interesting. They haven't asked for help or installing our fill station again downtown or anything like that. Okay. Yeah, I didn't keep seeing that. And I'd heard that like the county might have had some money set aside for that consolidation to have some workshops or anything. Did we end up being able to allocate any of that?
They are using money for, no, for talking about the consolidation with,
Brackenridge Forest Spring?
they're using the money with GEI to do a feasibility study.
Okay. Okay.
So GEI has reached out to the district for some data, which we're providing. And we await the report.
All right. I had Felton Heights and we covered that, and I had Haven, we covered that. I think that's all I had. And again, kind of echo like, Shelley's comments, if what trying to look into the next year about how the admin committee could be most useful for you. It's sounding like you're saying staff and money, but how does that translate into our meetings and making them useful for the district? So I don't know, kind of tying those things and looking forward into the next year.
So I would just say that, Highland Tank, the construction contract's already been awarded. Redwood Park, Echo, and Spring Booster, those are gonna be, the bids are due on February 12th. So I have one construction inspector. I'm gonna have him start out with Highland Tank and get it as far along as we can. And then he's gonna switch over to Redwood Park, Echo, and Spring Booster. At which point, I'm gonna have my CAD GIS specialist help out with the Highland Tank construction management. He has helped us out in the past when we lost our construction inspector. So he does have some experience in making the daily logs. And of course, I'm always around to help him if he has any issues. The pump station fire hardening project, we're going to the board on tomorrow night to award the contract for that. I'm going to have the associate engineer run that project. And then CZU Peavine, I'm going to run that project. The San Lorenzo Way Bridge, this is really a county project, and it's possible that their contractor will just install the new main line on the bridge for us. It's a lot cleaner to have them just do all the work, and then we can have a bid item on the contract where we pay for the ductile iron pipe and we pay for the pipe supports, but we're not going to have a construction manager because it's all part of a bridge project. And we're not going to have a general contractor. So I'll be looking after that one and coordinating with the county. The Brookdale tank recoding and rehabilitation, we have the RFP out for a coating consultant. I expect the coating consultant to be going up daily during the repairs and coating application process to confirm that the ambient conditions are suitable for the application of the coating. You have to be in certain temperature ranges. You have to have certain humidity ranges where you're allowed to apply the coatings, and there's all kinds of rules for applying these finishes to the metal. And so I'll be assisting with that with the coding consultant. Typically, these projects have like a weekly progress meeting where somebody from staff will be on the call to listen to. It's really an opportunity for the contractor to talk about obstacles he's facing, how we can resolve these obstacles. Maybe the engineer can play a role. Maybe we need to get a specialist out for some kind of testing. So I'll be involved with that. Harmon Street, I think we're going to be too busy because we only have a staff of 4 in the engineering department. That we most likely will probably. It's kind of a bummer. It's literally up the street from our office. I could walk there, but we might need to get a construction management firm depending on the timing. It should be a relatively quick project and it won't start until after school's out on June 4th. So if we can, if there's an opening and staff can take care of it, that would be my preference. It is a CZU project, so hopefully we'll get reimbursed even if we hire an outside construction management firm. Lion Slide, same thing. Most likely we'll need a construction management firm, or if there's an opening where staff can take care of it or I can take care of it. We're doing the design in-house, so I'm going to be intimately familiar with the details and the design. And so having myself at the site during the construction, I think would be beneficial to the project. So it's just a matter of when does P-Vine actually start? And when does Lion Slide actually start? Because they could all be overlapping. We have about 8 projects that are going to all be in construction simultaneously.
Oh, I don't know, I'm kind of hearing maybe the admin committee looking at our org chart and making sure that you guys are staffed up enough or.
Yeah, I mean, staff is open to having an additional inspector or additional engineer on staff and putting them to work.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'll just add one other thing on that note. One area that the admin committee I feel has responsibility for is outreach, and it's possible that there might be opportunities to look at how outreach is interconnected to your engineering activities. Either on the one hand, if you're getting flack from people, or on the other hand, if you just want to call more attention to everything you're doing. So I'm just mentioning that as a possible area that we could take a look at.
Sounds great.
I'll do Shelley first. Go ahead, Shelley. I see your hand raised, Shelley. We can go ahead and speak.
It's muted.
Okay, trying to unmute. Okay, there we go. I was wondering if any of these fabulous projects are newsworthy, like for PR, getting the message out. I don't know if it's too preemptive, but yeah, there's so many good things. Wouldn't this be a great way to promote the water district? Just curious.
Now, staff is open to that. Whatever we want to do, I'm game.
I would say during the summertime, during construction, would be the best time for outreach. That way,
I agree. I think it's the best optics as well. You can see things actually happening.
we can show them the contracts, but I think summertime would be the best for the outreach.
Yeah. Garrett, if you don't mind, since we're doing so many recoding projects, can you just describe the physical process of recoding? Is it like you sandblast and
Yeah.
can you just walk us through?
Yeah. So for the Brookdale tank, this tank was built in 1971. It has I believe it's a pine tar interior coating and then a urethane exterior coating. The primer underneath the urethane is a lead-based primer. So in talking with coating experts, they've recommended that, the best thing to do would be to encapsulate the exterior of the tank. And so we don't have to do with the lead remediation. As far as the interior of the tank, yes, we will have to sandblast it down to bare metal. I anticipate there could be some welding and some structural repairs after we've removed the coating on the interior. once we're done with any welding or adding structural members to the interior of the tank, then they will apply a high solids epoxy to the interior.
And how thick is that epoxy?
I mean, the thicker the epoxy, the longer it lasts. But I think we're in the range of like, 5 mils.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And that's just, I guess someone lowers themselves down into the tank and they're literally spraying the epoxy, or?
Yeah.
Is there not a manway on the tank?
There is.
Okay,
Yeah, there'll be.
there's a manway on the side.
Ah, is there? Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, they're just going to be painting the interior, and then they do touch ups and they check for holidays, doing a voltage test, and so that we're going to have a coating expert there the whole time watching them. This is the same process we used when we recoated Little Lion. So,
And how is the thickness or uniformity of the epoxy confirmed?
they do testing on it.
Okay. You don't know what kind of test?
They have this, I don't know how it works, but they have a device that they push into the epoxy to test the thickness of it. They do holiday testing.
Okay, okay, so, okay, some kind of a dielectric measurement or something.
And then you're supposed to, every 5 years for the AWWA standard, you're supposed to inspect it. And that's how you can get the maximum light out of the coating. On my engineering committee presentation about the tank recoatings, we were projecting a 30-year lifespan for the coating. Now that is a somewhat generous amount of time. And that assumes that you're doing regular maintenance and you're, every 5 years, you're looking at it, cleaning it up and making it last as long as it can. The Brookdale tank was built in 1971. So here we are. Was that 50 years later?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, 30 years is hopefully we can achieve that.
So every 5 years, you're draining the tank and someone's going
You
in.
don't necessarily have to drain them. You can
Oh, you
dive.
don't?
Yeah, you can done. You have to do an inspection.
Oh, okay.
That's what AWA recommends.
Okay. Got
And
it.
then if you find issues, you try and get in front of it.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Because really, like a lot of the costs are going to be is if there's structural damage and you have to do welding and all that. That's where it's going to get expensive.
These tanks that are at the end of their life and have been signaled that they are overdue for recoating, how is that affecting water quality?
So far, we haven't seen any issues related to the tank.
So the pine tar that was used in the 70s is bulletproof. I mean, it lasts forever. Now high VOCs and when they first apply it, so that's why they went away from it. But yeah, we still had a tank in Ridgecrest that was built in the same around the same time that was just fine. So,
But other sampling throughout the VOC and FOC sampling throughout the system's been relatively pretty low.
Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Do we have anything else here? I don't see Shelley's hand up. We can, I guess, go out to public comment, but we have no one in the room and no one online. I remember to do it. All right, and then we have one line item for board comment for anything people would like to see coming back to the admin if anyone has any suggestions.
I guess I do. I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to handle it is. So there are a number of items where I'd appreciate an update if I could get one or at least know when it would be convenient to provide one. Would staff prefer that I send those in as an email? I'm just trying to figure out the best way to handle that.
I prefer that method.
Yeah.
That way I have it in front of me. When I read something, I remember it better than when someone just says it to me.
Sure. I'm happy to do that. Should I do that privately or does the committee want to get involved? I'm just,
You can't CC everyone, so I
okay,
think
so
it's
I have
best
to just, I'll
if
go
you
straight to Jason.
when
then.
you could CC me and Jason, but not everyone.
I follow. A quick minor question on that front. If I notice things on the website that I just think, oh, that was probably a mistake or an oversight. Similarly, I could just send an email, but I don't want to be an annoyance. So I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah,
How to
I mean,
balance
you can send that to myself or Leah, but just so everyone's aware, we are getting a new website beginning of next year, so. hopefully-
Scott had, you were here, right, when Scott showed it off?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of my status questions. Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Okay, I'm happy. Thanks.
Okay,
Yep.
anyone,
I'm all good. Thanks.
anyone else?
As far as for stuff for the committee for future, I did get an email from the district about a Brown Act presentation, and I reviewed the PowerPoint, and it was very informative. Question, suggestion, since the Brown Act applies to the committees as well as the board, I would love to have that presentation annually. With someone presenting it so that we can do Q&A in the committees as well as at the district level, the board level. So that was just a suggestion that I wanted
Yeah,
to
we'll
make.
have to figure out a way to do that, because I don't think the board members who are on the committee necessarily want to hear that presentation 3 times, but
I can understand that. However,
no,
the
I
committee
see the value.
members who it also applies to
Yeah,
Mhm.
have not necessarily heard it.
yeah, I wonder if we could do
I do take your point. I just wonder if the committee members could attend the board meeting.
Well, that's certainly a
Yeah.
possibility too, but that would need some coordination, like, hey, we're gonna do this, everybody show up.
right, the training session of some sort.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be an easier way to do it, just consolidate. I
Yeah.
think it's
We call it a workshop, just call it.
let everybody hear it and have the opportunity to ask questions.
I like that.
Alright. Yeah, do you have any further comments, Shelley, as far as things to bring to the admin?
No, I second what Cheryl was saying. I really would like to know more about that as well. Maybe a synopsis of what the Brown Act is, and how it applies to all the different committees like ours. But yeah.
Yeah, and as far as bringing anything, I just whatever we can do best to support these projects and what you guys think the admin can handle. Like, I want to be this to be a useful place for the district, and not just a time sink for you guys. So just making sure that you're utilizing us as best that we can. And I just want to thank everyone for your commitment and your service this year. And I hope you all reapplied. You guys, this is an excellent admin committee. I think it's probably the one of the best committees that I've served on. So thank you so much, and thank you staff for this wonderful year as well. You got a lot up there, Garrett. Shooting off those numbers, I'm like, oh my goodness, look at you go.
I'm excited. I love working here.
Awesome.
All right. Well, if we have no further comments, we have, I guess, I think this was, we can go out to public comment, no one in the room, no one online for that. And then I think we could say the meeting is adjourned at 10:38. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Very good.